Hello and welcome to Teleislas News with the most relevant and important information of the day. This afternoon, the community of the Cove sector was concerned about what they describe as load zones, alluding to explosives, announcing that the load bank shook their homes. Faced with the anxiety of the community, the commander of the Naval Base No. 4 of the island explained to our news agency that these detonations were product of two grenades that, being close to their expiration date, had to be detonated in a controlled manner by specialized personnel who quickly performed the procedure without risk to the surrounding community. Likewise, the commander assured that they gave the pertinent explanations to the community of the sector that was somehow affected by the load zones, letting them know that there was no reason to be alarmed. And the heavy rains that were evidenced this afternoon left several sectors flood and rains overflowed, causing concern in the community.
Late this afternoon, heavy rains fell on the island, leaving several sectors with flooding and sewage overflows. The current damage to rain and sewage infrastructure was noticeable in several sectors, such as the 20 de Julio, Americas, and Newell Avenues, Parkway and District 4 in general, causing traffic jams on the island. It should be noted that the department is in hurricane season, so it is expected the intervention of responsible entities in order to mitigate the impact of heavy rains that could occur during the tropical cyclone season in the department.
And in order to reduce the digital divide and strengthen the economy of various sectors, the national government declared the internet as an essential public service.
President Ivan Duque and the Minister of the ICT, Karen Abudinen, enacted the law that makes the internet an essential and universal public service in Colombia. The law guarantees the effective right of access to the internet with affordable and competitive rates. For years, this service has presented difficulties and high costs in the department. Before the enactment of this law, the department authorities gave statements.
I believe that we have to take advantage of this potential since we are going to have two submarine cables. They must bring us benefits in some way. We are going to insist to Minister Karen Abudinen so that she supports us with the providers of this essential service, because not being connected in the world today is complex to understand, but connecting now will improve our competitiveness. With the ICT secretary that we have appointed at this new secretariat, it will help us a lot to present great projects so that tourism has free Wi-Fi zones, so that the tourism sector can take advantage of these potentialities. What matters most to me is the internet service for our own people.
The Secretary of the ICT indicated that the purpose of his portfolio is to strengthen free internet access in the department.
The idea is to strengthen coverage here on the island, create a new living digital point, totally free Wi-Fi zones, so that the internet reaches people who may not have resources to pay for internet. We want to reach that part of the island. We will have a meeting with those in charge of the submarine cable, so that in this way we can reach agreements and improve internet connectivity here in the department.
The departmental government has indicated that it expects to be able to expand the accessibility to internet service on the island. The ICT Ministry specified that with this new law, when there are states of exception and sanitary emergency, there will be a minimum of navigability and free text message for all users.
And if you have been looking for the opportunity to study for free, here are 3 training programs that may interest you.
Sena San Andres brings a new educational offer for the community with 3 technical technologies and operative training programs. The Sena communications leader explains what they consist of.
Technologists in audiovisual media production, which is a very diverse and practical and different technologies for people who are looking to become content creators, to learn how to work with audiovisual media, how to edit, how to do camera and work behind the magic of television.
Archibald also explain what the technical and operator programs of Sena's News Academy offerings consist of.
Tenemos también un técnico en
We also have a comprehensive cosmology technician for young people who want to learn cosmology or dedicate themselves to this art, not only for work but those who want to learn to do their own makeup or work in production as makeup artists. And we have the hand and foot care operator.
Sena San Andres invites the community to register and finalize the process that culminates with the delivery of documents for enrollment. In order to be enrolled, you only have to enter the institution's webpage www.senasofiaplus.edu.co.
The economy has been progressively reactivated to date in our department. The executive director of the Chamber of Commerce gave us details of how merchants and entrepreneurs are faring.
Through a telephone call, Jennifer Jepes shared to this news agency an overview of how the economy is currently doing. In this sense, Jepes stated that tourism has activated the economy in terms of accommodations and businesses that involve tourism. However, in other areas of commerce, no significant progress has been evidenced.
We have indeed seen that the economy has been reactivated, an upward reactivation in accommodations and everything related to tourism. However, businesses of different types, services, food, clothing, and other distributions are a little behind. We have been implementing some strategies so that as well as in tourism, we can improve in the next 3 months.
According to the executive director of the entity, they are betting on other investment options, reorganization and redirection so that entrepreneurs can have alternatives to reinforce. She also informed that currently in the Departmental Assembly, a request for an extension in taxes is being processed. This would contribute to the economic reactivation of businesses in the territory.
And in other news, the Ministry of Culture launches 2 new calls for youth in which 17,000 million pesos will be invested to contribute to the cultural sector.
Through the calls, young people in movement and share what we are, 17,000 million pesos will be invested to benefit young groups with proposal of 2 or more members through economic incentive, as well as to support artistic, patrimonial, and cultural proposal of common interest. The Minister of Culture, Angélica Mayolo, spoke about this initiative.
A través de Comparte lo que somos alrededor de todo el país, gestores culturales.
Through the program Share What We Are, cultural managers and artists for cultural heritage and artistic projects as individuals for a maximum amount of 2 million pesos, and as collective associations of cultural managers, organizations, among others, up to an amount of 20 million pesos. With the program Young People on the Move, we want to provide opportunities for young people in the territory of Colombia to continue promoting their cultural projects. This is how, through this call, we will pay through different types of direct benefits. For groups of up to 2 people, 5 million pesos. For groups between 3 and 6 members, 10 million pesos. Between 7 and 10 members, 15 million pesos. And for groups that develop cultural projects of more than 10 people, up to 20 million pesos.
The opening of this call is part of the ongoing commitment of the Culture in Motion strategy, which will allocate 45,000 million pesos and will benefit about 60,000 people. Those interested should submit their proposal digitally and without leaving home between August 2 and the 1st of September of 2021 year throughout the website of the Ministry of Culture, www.mincultura.gov.co.
And yesterday, the celebration of the rise of Emancipation in the municipality ended with a workshop called Steps to Freedom.
Emancipation is part of our heritage. This is the name given to the Emancipation celebration in Old Providence, where a series of traditional and cultural activities were carried out with the support of the Mayor's Office and the coordination of the Island Roots and Heritage Foundation.
We had like 2 series of activities. The first series was composed by traditional sports, games, and ring plays. This is things that sometimes we put aside, but they are part of our ancestral heritage. So we had different games games, we had domino, we had horse race.
During the second day, a traditional united religious service was held with the different congregations of the municipality, where the community was able to worship in unity.
Maybe it's something that we don't do very often through the circumstances of the island and so, but this is a very important moment for us because we're rising from all the things that happened to us through the hurricane, and it's a moment to unite not only the churches but the community around our beliefs and the things that keep us together.
Finally, the celebration closed with a talk on the history of emancipation and how it affects us.
Are we emancipated as yet? So we have to begin to analyze and make a reflection at what emancipation means. It's like how Bob Marley said, emancipate your mind from mental slavery. And not because you take off the chain or the chain off your foot and hand. We have to make the people conscious of who we are.
And yesterday, the third period of ordinary sessions of the Municipal Council of Full Providence and Santa Catalina was installed. 2 propositions were presented to this body.
2 propositions were presented and approved by the councilmen to be sent to the mayor's office. The first one will seek that the municipal government and the Secretary of Finance present a project for a tax relief agreement for municipal taxes, fines and penalties in favor of the people of Full Providence.
The proposal about is to benefit all the people in Providence and Catalina that pay tax. You know, so we just come out of one hurricane and the people not got no money to pay no kind of tax. So that is the reason why we passed this proposal to the alcalde. I consider the people that have over 60 years shouldn't pay the tax for their land. They should give them an ease and pardon them for that.
The proposition will also seek a tax amnesty for the fiscal year 2021 for the industry, commerce and property tax. On the other hand, Councilman Aniceto Henry presented a second proposition that seeks to commemorate November 16.
Yesterday I presented a proposition to celebrate the 16th of November in memory of all those people who lose their life during the hurricane, and that every 16th of November the government celebrate that day in honor of those people who lost their life and people who suffer.
The proposition will seek to commemorate this historic day each year. Regular council sessions will be held for the next 3 weeks.
Hello, here are the best sports of the islands. Seeking to revive softball and remember the old glories of this sport, a light softball tournament is being held in Brooks Hill. Softball, a traditional sport of our island, which was in recess due to the pandemic, is looking for its reactivation, and for the players to resume this sport and get in shape. A tournament was organized at the Ballfield Court in Brooks Hill.
This is a short tournament that is being carried out by Dexter. He invited us to reinforce the Brooks Hill team, and we accepted the invitation. Now we are seeing that this tournament is a success.
We don't hear something. Remember the Wellington softball player and the Wellington baseball player, like William Cabeza, Ernesto Steele, Cheetah Steele, and Double Blanc. Well, them was a great player, and it make I remember them. And so we come out here from sport, and we got long time of sport, so we just come out here to integrate ourselves, amongst ourselves, and have a good fellowship. Have a good day.
A very good game in view of the reactivation of softball for the players of the island. Laudine Smith, an example of woman who left part of her routine to train small and young people in baseball. Warrior and confident that the future of young people can be much better than it actually is, Laudine Smith is an example of a woman who is one of the most dedicated baseball coaches and who is currently proud to have seen her island student play in Miami. Smith relates how she got into the world of baseball.
Them tell me no one from the hill 3 years back because nobody practiced them. And I take the decision and I ask the Lord, open the way for me, give me the strength, and I resign from 3 hours from the school in the evening and I take up the kids them on the hill. And that's where the school come from. And my desire with that school is to take up our children and put them to be somebody in life.
The work is not over yet, as this is just the beginning of a great school that Laudine hopes to form on the island.
We need a lot of help. We don't talking about money. We're talking about material things that they need to come out through. We have a little school, a little house that we're going to start to work with them lesson because we have a lot of them didn't study and have to matriculate some of them.
The dedication of a woman and the desire to succeed of young islanders is the reflection of the efforts that today are seen nationally and internationally.